When you come for a US warship, you'd better not miss because you won't get a second chance. At exactly 2 o'clock local time on the 14th of January, 2024, the stillness of Yemen's Red Sea coast is ripped apart by a thunderous roar. From a hidden mobile launcher in Hodeidah, a column of fire and smoke bursts upward, carrying with it a deadly package, a modified Iranian Keshvar anti-ship missile, now in the hands of Houthi rebels. Designed originally for land-based strikes, this missile has been repurposed into an anti-ship weapon with a blistering top speed of 3.4 kilometers per second. In less than 60 seconds, it pierces the clouds, its guidance computer locking onto GPS coordinates, secretly passed along by an Iranian vessel loitering in the Red Sea. Inside a fortified bunker 2 miles from the launch site, Houthi operators watch glowing telemetry screens, grins spreading across their faces. For them, this is the moment they've been waiting for a chance to land a blow on the US Navy. They trust their missile's design, not realizing that a tiny flaw is already sealing its fate. The inertial navigation system is drifting by 0.5 degrees. Almost nothing now, but enough to shift the impact point miles off course by the time it reaches its target area in the Gulf of Aden. With a maximum range of just 186 miles, the Keshvar must be launched dangerously close to the shoreline, making the crews and their equipment highly vulnerable to US counterstrikes. Still, the rebels accept the risk. They know the math. The missile's circular error probable at statistical accuracy is about 150 meters, roughly 450 feet. The USS Laboon measures only 510 feet from bow to stern. Unless the destroyer is anchored or crawling at extremely low speed, the odds of a direct hit are razor thin. And tonight, by sheer misfortune, the Laboon is moving at a near crawl, almost a sitting duck. On the quiet, dark waters of the Red Sea, the USS Laboon is in what sailors call trail shaft mode, a fuel-saving and maintenance routine in which all but one of the ship's 4 massive gas turbine engines are offline. The destroyer is barely making 3 knots, moving only slightly faster than the surrounding current. With such limited speed and maneuverability, she is effectively a slow-moving target in hostile waters. This operational state is common on long deployments. At full throttle, the Laboon's engines can push her beyond 30 knots, but doing so comes at a steep price. Tanks hold 450,000 gallons of fuel, and yet at top speed, she burns an eye-watering 6,500 gallons every single hour. Sustained high-speed transits aren't just expensive, they're unsustainable. Crews must also periodically take engines offline for mandatory inspections, swapping them in and out to keep the ship mission-ready for months at sea. For the crew on this mid-watch, the night is uneventful. The weather is foul, visibility poor, and the horizon is nothing but darkness. Sailors pace quietly in the Combat Information Center, monitoring radar screens that show nothing unusual. Then, in an instant, the calm is shattered. A radar track originating nearly 200 miles away flashes across the display. The contact is faint and still beyond the ship's own sensor range due to the stormy conditions, but the initial calculations are ominous. Course, speed, and trajectory all point to the same conclusion. This is a fast, hostile missile, and it's inbound. The ship's Aegis combat system confirms the math. But there's a problem. How do you shoot down what you can't yet see? The answer comes from the sky, in the form of a US Navy E-2D Hawkeye airborne early warning aircraft, silently orbiting high above the Red Sea. At 27,000 feet, the E-2D Hawkeye's massive radar dome spins steadily, scanning hundreds of square kilometers below. Within seconds of the Houthi missile's launch, its AN/APY-9 radar picks up the threat. The system instantly classifies it as a missile. Its speed, altitude, and flight pattern leave no doubt. Every 10 seconds, the Hawkeye updates the track, pushing the data via Link 16 directly to the USS Laboon. Thanks to the Navy's cooperative engagement capability, the destroyer doesn't need to see the missile with her own sensors to act. The Hawkeye's feed becomes her eyes, allowing the combat system to build a fire control solution in real time. But the clock is ticking. The crew now has less than 30 seconds to respond. High above the Red Sea, the missile reaches apogee, the peak of its flight, before tipping over into a terminal dive. This is a high-dive attack profile, designed to exploit a potential blind spot in shipboard radar by plunging steeply from above. Against many naval vessels, it's a deadly tactic. Against the Laboon's SPY-1 radar, it's just another blip on the screen. Still, the situation is tense. The ship's officer of the deck orders an emergency online start of the remaining engines. In normal circumstances, powering up gas turbines is a careful, multi-minute process. In an emergency start, safety steps are bypassed. The Laboon roars from a crawl to over 30 knots in barely 90 seconds. The helm swings her hard to port to maximize radar illuminator coverage. The crew prepares to launch an SM-2 interceptor. But then fortune shifts. That tiny 0.5-degree navigation error from the launch site has grown during flight. What began as a barely noticeable drift has compounded into a full 10-mile missed distance. The missile's seeker locks onto empty ocean, blissfully unaware its target has moved. Seconds later, it screams overhead, continuing its dive until it slams harmlessly into the water, erupting in a distant plume 12.5 miles astern. The Laboon has survived the strike without firing a shot. Now, the hunt begins. With the immediate danger over, the USS Laboon's crew shifts from defense to retaliation. Somewhere along Yemen's western coast, the mobile launcher that fired the missile is still out there, and if it isn't destroyed, it could strike again. High above, the same E-2D Hawkeye that saved the Laboon now goes on the offensive. The crew narrows its radar scan toward the sector from which the missile originated. Over Yemen, there are no civilian aircraft, no airliners, no private planes. In this airspace, anything airborne and not military is suspect. Soon, the radar sweep pays off. 4 small contacts moving in formation. The Hawkeye's systems intercept a faint video feed. These are Houthi drones, acting as forward observers to watch the missile strike. Instead of recording a triumphant impact, they've just exposed their own launch sector. The Hawkeye continues tracking the drones, while another asset joins the hunt, a KH-11 reconnaissance satellite, orbiting 500 kilometers above the Earth. With optics sharp enough to distinguish objects mere inches across from space, the KH-11 turns the Hawkeye's general bearing into precise coordinates. Within an hour, analysts have pinpointed the exact location of the launcher, its radar, and the command post controlling the operation. Orders are relayed across the strike group. The USS Eisenhower's flight deck roars to life as the first pair of FA-18 Super Hornets are catapulted into the night sky, followed by 2 more moments later. Their mission: eliminate the launcher before it can be repositioned and silence any air defense systems guarding it. As the Hornets race toward Yemen, the Hawkeye maintains overwatch, ready to feed targeting data the moment the strike package approaches hostile territory. The window for retaliation is open, and the U.S. Navy intends to make the most of it. The 4 FA-18 Super Hornets slice through the darkness, their afterburners glowing faintly against the night sky. Each aircraft carries a deadly load, 4 2,000-pound GBU-31 bunker buster bombs and enough fuel for a high-speed strike and a safe return to the Eisenhower. As they approach Yemen's coast, a warning flashes across the pilot's radar threat displays. The ALR-67V3 radar warning receivers, mounted on the nose, tail, and wingtips, detect the telltale frequencies of a straight-flush 1S-91 fire control radar, the type used to guide surface-to-air missiles. The Houthis have positioned it cleverly, hidden between 2 apartment buildings to make a strike more politically and tactically difficult. The rules of engagement demand visual confirmation before firing on any suspected site, especially in populated areas. That's where the advanced targeting forward-looking infrared ATF-LIR pods come into play. Slung beneath the fuselage, each ATF-LIR system can deliver high-resolution imagery from nearly 90 kilometers away, day or night, through cloud or haze. The lead pilot slews his targeting pod toward the radar emissions and confirms the unmistakable silhouette of the 1S-91 system tucked into the narrow street. Nearby, a cluster of trucks and camouflage-netted equipment hints at the presence of the missile launcher. 2 miles farther inland, a hardened bunker entrance marks the likely command post. Target packages are assigned in seconds. 1 Hornet will destroy the launcher, another will take the radar, a third will obliterate the command bunker, and the 4th will either finish off any surviving target or hit the UAV launch site detected earlier by the Hawkeye. With designations locked in, the formation drops to attack altitude. Throttles forward. The clock is ticking, and the Houthis have no idea that death is already on the way. The Hornets fan out into their attack runs, each pilot focused on a specific kill. Below them, the dark outlines of Yemen's coastline slide past, the target area growing larger on their heads-up displays. The mobile missile launcher is the first priority, and the Houthis have done their best to protect it. Instead of parking it in the open, they've commandeered a civilian air raid shelter with 6 feet of reinforced concrete overhead. After firing, they roll the launcher back inside, hoping the bunker will buy them immunity from airstrikes. But tonight, that protection won't be enough. On the wings of each Hornet hang GBU-31 bombs, BLU-109 hardened penetrator warheads fitted with GPS guidance kits. Unlike thin-skinned general-purpose bombs, the BLU-109 has a 1-inch thick steel casing, turning it into a precision sledgehammer capable of punching through up to 8 feet of reinforced concrete before exploding. Inside is 550 pounds of high explosive, more than enough to destroy the launcher and kill everyone inside. Before launch, the strike crew aboard the Eisenhower programmed the bombs with a 70-millisecond fuse delay, just enough time to pierce the shelter's roof and detonate inside without burrowing into the floor. The result will be a devastating internal blast, collapsing the structure from within and ensuring no recovery. At precisely 3:45 local time, the first Hornet releases its payload. Gravity takes hold, and seconds later, the bomb smashes through the bunker's roof, the hardened casing shrugging off the concrete. Inside, a massive overpressure wave rips through the chamber, flattening the launcher in an instant. The second Hornet is seconds behind, targeting the s.navy radar system on the street above. For this above-ground target, the fuse delay is set to 0, turning the bomb into a point detonation weapon. It hits dead center, the explosion shredding the radar and scattering its components like matchsticks. Meanwhile, the third Hornet banks toward the command bunker carved into a hillside 2 miles away. Even as the Houthis attempt to evacuate, they have no chance against a weapon traveling just over the speed of sound. The GBU-31 impacts, penetrates, and erupts in a deafening blast, silencing the nerve center of the operation. In less than 2 minutes, all 3 primary targets are destroyed. Real-time video feeds stream back to the strike group's command center aboard the Eisenhower, confirming total mission success so far. With the launcher, radar, and command bunker reduced to smoking ruins, the 4th Hornet breaks from formation and heads for the secondary objective, the Houthi UAV launch site identified earlier by the Hawkeye. The site is crude, a shallow earthen trench dug into a parking lot, barely 6 feet deep, meant to conceal and protect 4 small drones used for reconnaissance and targeting. Against a GBU-31, this is no protection at all. The bomb's hardened casing is designed to punch through 30 feet of soil. This trench might as well be tissue paper. Lining up the shot, the pilot releases his payload, and seconds later the blast rips through the launch pit, reducing the drones and their operators to little more than debris scattered across the dusty lot. Overhead, the remaining Hornets reform into a loose defensive circle, scanning for any sign of retaliation. But the coast is silent. No new radar emissions, no missile launches, no scrambling aircraft. The Hawkeye, still orbiting at altitude, confirms what the pilots already suspect. The Houthis are in no position to fight back tonight. One by one, the Super Hornets turn toward the open waters of the Red Sea, afterburners flaring as they climb away from Yemeni airspace. The mission clock shows barely an hour has passed since the first missile was launched at the Laboon, yet, in that short time, the attackers have been not only thwarted but decisively punished. As the jets touch down aboard the Eisenhower, the deck crew moves quickly to secure them and prepare for the next sortie. In the Combat Information Center, officers replay the strike footage, marking each confirmed hit. There is no cheering, only quiet satisfaction. The Red Sea is still dangerous, and everyone aboard knows this will not be the last engagement. For the Houthis, tonight's operation was meant to be a statement. Instead, it became a costly reminder. In a fight against the US Navy, you only get one chance, if that,